folks, Thomas Benjamin Wild Esquire here. Thanks for joining me for this short little video where I'm going to be talking to you and also playing you a few songs as well. Now I decided to do it as a live stream because it's a lot easier than setting up and editing afterwards, and I wanted to actually test out my brand new webcam and audio setup, so that's why I've chosen to do this as a live stream. If you're watching this later on, it doesn't hugely matter. I'm just doing it like this for ease. So those of you who follow me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter will already know that I'm currently doing a getting to know me month where I'm talking about myself, what I do, how I ended up doing it. And if people enjoy those posts, I may well turn them into a series of videos for YouTube. So if that's the kind of content that you'd like to see more of, make sure you let me know by way of a like, a comment on this video, and if you haven't done so already, by liking, following and subscribing to me on the various social media channels. Okay, so the title of this first video is My First Ukulele. So I'm going to get started with that now. So my first ever ukulele was this one. It's a Macala soprano ukulele, and there's a bit of a story behind this one. My partner was out shopping one day and she felt rather guilty for how much money she'd spent, and so she popped into our local music shop and asked them for something to the value of what she'd spent. So she'd only spent about 30-40 quid in various charity shops or thrift stores if you were in other countries, and she felt guilty about that, so she went into the local music shop and asked them for something that was about 30 or 40 quid. And this is what they suggested to her. So it is actually my partner's fault that I actually ended up learning to play the ukulele, because as soon as she gave it to me, I said to her, well, I'm going to learn how to play this now. And that was probably in about 2011 or 2012. And for a long time, I didn't do a huge amount with it. I learnt a few songs on it. And then a few years later, some friends of ours who were running a nightclub in Milton Keynes called Edna's Vintage Nightclub. It was a 20s, 30s, 40s themed nightclub. Had a bit of a problem where their usual host, had dropped out at the last minute, and I was actually pulled in to host their show, and this was in about 2015. And the first time I did it, I think I did quite well. I did it without singing. I just told a few jokes, but I'd exhausted all the jokes that I'd told by that point. And so the next time they asked me to come back, I thought it'd be a lot easier if I play some songs. And I remembered that I had this ukulele. And obviously, a chap my size, I'm 6'3", looks far funnier playing a ukulele than they do a guitar. So it was either a guitar or a ukulele. I thought the ukulele was far more suited to that kind of vintage style. So I decided to play some songs on that instead. Okay, some nice comments coming from me here. I've kind of launched this on you a little bit without any kind of without telling anybody first. This is just a bit of a test really to see how it goes. Hopefully I'll be able to do this more in the future now I've got my new webcam. So yes, the second time I did it, I thought playing some songs was far easier than writing jokes. And so I played a couple of songs, and I'm going to play those for you now. Now, I've only ever done 2 performances with this ukulele, because fairly soon afterwards I bought my banjolele, which I'll perhaps do another video about at another point. And so I'm going to play a couple of songs on this now. Now, there's literally probably only 4 songs that I have played on this live, and I'm going to play them all for you today. So the first one was this one. People in the UK will recognise this from a certain TV show. Good night, sweetheart. All my dreams are for you. Good night, sweetheart. I'll be watching o'er you. us forlorn. But with the dawn, the new day is born. So I say good night, sweetheart. Sleep will banish sorrow. Good night, sweetheart. Till we meet tomorrow. Dreams enfold you. In them, dear, I'll hold you. So good night, sweetheart. Good night. Good night, sweetheart. All my prayers are for you. Good night, sweetheart. I'll be watching o'er you. Tears and parting may make us forlorn, but with the dawn, a new day is born. So I say good night, sweetheart. Sleep will banish sorrow. Good night, sweetheart. Till we meet tomorrow. Dreams enfold you. In them, dear, I'll hold you. So good night, sweetheart. Good night. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much. So lots of people there. Right, okay, some interesting comments there. It's 30s music, of course. It's mono, you bandpots. What is going on here? Right, okay. So are people hearing me okay through this? Are there issues? I had some issues with my headphones earlier. So I don't know if you're perhaps not hearing things properly over there. So do give me a shout out if you're not, and I'll see what I can do from this end. So that was the first song I played live on this ukulele at Edna's Vintage Nightclub. Now, in the link below, if you're on YouTube and you are interested in finding out more about Harry and Edna, or Edna's, Harry and Edna run a rather fantastic 20s, 30s, 40s radio show, which you can access through the link in the description on YouTube. Facebook folks, I'll put it in the comments later. So Goodnight Sweetheart was the first one that I played. The next one that I played on the first time that I did this was this one. Now, there is an expectation at some shows in the UK that if you're playing a ukulele, there's a certain person that you actually have to play a song by. And so the one I played by the great George Formby was this one, which I'm going to put a disclaimer on it now. Whenever I listen to this song nowadays, it sounds a bit stalky. Okay, it's a bit of a creepy song. So I do apologise for that. And I apologise if I've just ruined it for you as well now. But this is a song called Leaning on a Lamppost. Leaning on a lamp, maybe you think I look a tramp. Maybe you think I'm hanging round to steal a car. But no, I'm not a crook. And if you think that's what I look, I'll tell you why I'm here and what my motives are. I'm leaning on a lamppost at the corner of the street in case a certain little lady comes by. Oh me, oh my, I hope that little lady comes by. She doesn't always get away, I know she'll try to get away, and anyway I know that she'll try. Oh me, oh my, I hope that little lady comes by. There's no other girl I would wait for, and this one I'd break any date for. I won't have to ask what she's late for. She'd never leave me flat, she's not a girl like that. No, she's absolutely marvellous and wonderful and beautiful, and anyone can understand why. I'm leaning on a lamppost at the corner of the street in case a certain little lady comes by. There we go. Probably not all the words right there or all the chords. I'm doing this from memory, folks. I've not played these songs for quite a while. So I thought it'd be quite interesting. So yes, so this is about the first ukulele I ever owned. Now, I haven't played this really until today, for about 5 or 6 years, because my preferred ukulele now is this one, which is more expensive. This is a flight ukulele, flight soprano. Now, actually, I've got a bit of a sponsorship deal with them, so I do have to talk about them when I'm talking about ukuleles. This is more of a high-end buy, and actually, I'll show you the difference between the two. I'll play something on this a little bit later, so you can hear the difference between the two. So this one is the one that I generally pick up now and play, just because it's a bit nicer to play. But anybody who's interested in buying a first ukulele, I can recommend these. They're only about 30, 40 quid. And it's all you need. It's all you need, really. Now, so those are the two songs that I played while hosting my first, in fact, it was my second Edna's Vintage Nightclub, because the first one I'd only told jokes. And so, yeah, so they were quite simple songs that I played then. So this next one is a little bit more complicated. One of my favourite songs by one of my favourite classic artists. This is a song put by the legendary Mr. Noel Coward. I've been cherishing through the perishing winter nights and days a funny little phrase that means such a lot to me that you've got to be with me heart and soul, for on you the whole thing leans. Come with me and leave behind the noisy crowds. Sunshine waits for us above the clouds. Please don't run away or my dream will stay hidden out of sight among a lot of might have beens. A room with a view and you, and no one to worry us, no one to hurry us through the dream we found. We'll gaze at the sky and try to guess what it's all about, and then we'll figure out why the world is round. We'll be as happy and contented as birds up in a tree, high above the mountains and sea. We'll bill and we'll coo, hoo, hoo, and sorrow will never come, or will it ever come true? A room with a view, a room with a view, and you, and no one to give advice. That seems a paradise few would fail to choose. With fingers entwined we'll find relief from the preachers who always beseech us to mind our P's and Q's. We'll watch the whole world pass before us while we are sitting still, leaning on our own windowsill. We'll bill and we'll coo, hoo, hoo, and sorrow will never come, or will it ever come true? A room with a view. There we go. There we go. So I played that on my second performance with the ukulele. And actually on this uke, now I had to mic this up in quite a strange way because soprano ukuleles are notoriously hard to mic up. So it had a little microphone playing there. There's actually a video of the next song that I played. I think it's the first video I posted to YouTube, actually. So if you're interested in going back and having a look at that and actually hearing how out of tune the ukulele sounds on it. This is the one thing I will say about this cheap ukulele. It does go out of tune quite quickly. So this next song was a little bit of a it was a little bit risky throwing this one into a 20s, 30s, 40s, because it's actually written in the 60s. So this was the last song I played live on this ukulele, and this is a fantastic one by the legendary Mr. Tom Lehrer. Spring is here, spring is here. Life is skittles and life is beer. I think the loveliest time of the year is the spring. I do, don't you? Of course you do. But there's one thing that makes spring complete for me, that makes every Sunday a treat for me. All the world seems in tune on a spring afternoon when we're poisoning pigeons in the park. Every Sunday you'll see my sweetheart and me as we poison the pigeons in the park. When they see us coming, the birdies all try and hide, but still go for peanuts when coated with cyanide. The sun's shining bright, everything seems alright when we're poisoning pigeons in the park. La-da, ya-dum-da-da-dee-dum-da-da, ya-dum-dee-da. We've gained notoriety and caused some anxiety at the Royal Society with our games. They call it impiety and lack of propriety and quite a variety of unpleasant names, but it's not against any religion to want to dispose of a pigeon. So if Sunday you're free, why don't you come with me and we'll poison the pigeons in the park? And maybe we'll do in a squirrel or two as we poison the pigeons in the park. We'll murder them all amid laughter and merriment, except for the few we take home to experiment. My blood will be thickening with each drop of strychnine we feed to a pigeon. It just takes a smidgen to poison a pigeon in the park. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much indeed. Indeed. So reading a few comments now. I bought a banjo because you found your channel. I love it so much. Oh, Christy, that's lovely to hear that you that I've actually been inspiring people. It's always nice to hear. I would sing this, but as poisoning squirrels in the park. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, pigeon squirrels. Thank you, Shakila. Nice to see that you're here. Some of you can only hear it. Now, I had a problem with that. I had an issue with that earlier through my headphones. Can anybody else let me know whether they are only hearing this through one headphone? I might need to change it afterwards. I don't know what's happening there. Can people hear through both headphones? I've changed the settings on here, so it should be balanced, but I need to have a look at this, I think. It's a new audio setup, and it's a little bit spur of the moment as well. So, yes, apologies if you're only hearing this through one headphone speaker. So, those are the 4 songs I have played live on this ukulele, which was the first one I ever owned. As I say, bought to me by my partner. Now, this one is the one that I pick up and use on a regular basis, my flight soprano ukulele. It's got a bit of a nicer sound. It's a bit easier to play. I think I'll play you out on another song. Anybody got any requests at all for a song that I can play you out on my new ukulele, on my newer ukulele? Yeah, so I think we're having a problem with the speakers on this. It does only seem to be picking up through one channel. Apologies for that. I will try and make sure that is fixed for the next time that I do anything like this, and I will try and adjust that on the video as well if I can, so that the same things come out. I'm only coming through one channel, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem to balance it out. I'm afraid I haven't got any Chaz and Dave in the in the repertoire yet, but I am working on that. Somebody says, you know which song. Oh, go on then. I think that'd just be the the easiest one. The easiest one to satisfy everybody who's watching. So this is going to be the last song that I play. Thank you for joining me for this spontaneous little live stream. It's worked quite well, I think, other than the audio, which I'm going to try and fix. So hopefully I'll be doing more of these regularly. So do let me know in the comments other subjects that you'd like to hear me talking about and that kind of thing. I'm going to do one about all my ukulele collection at some point, which might be a mammoth one at some point in the future. But it has been requested a lot. So... I've tried, and I've tried even more. I've cried, and I can't recall what for. I've pressed, I've pushed, I've yelled, I've begged in hopes of some success. But the inevitable fact is that it never will impress. I've no more fucks to give, my fucks have run it dry. I've tried to go fuck shopping, but there's no fucks left to buy. I've no more fucks to give, the more fucks I've tried to get. I'm over my fuck budget, and I'm now in fucking debt. I strive to get everything done. I've played by all the rules, but I've very rarely won. I've smiled, I've charmed, I've wooed and laughed, alas to no avail. I run round like a moron to unequivocally fail. I've no more fucks to give, my fuck fuse has just blown. I've been hunting for my fucks all day, but they've up and fucked off home. I've no more fucks to give, my fuck rations are depleted. I've rallied my fuck army, but it's been fucking defeated. The effort has just not been worth the time or the expense. I've exhausted all my energy for minimal recompense. The complete lack of acknowledgement has now begun to gall, and I've come to realize that I don't give a fuck at all. I've no more fucks to give, my fucks have flown away. My fucks are now so fucked off they refuse to fucking stay. I've no more fucks to give, my fucks have gone insane. They've come back round and passed me while they're fucking off again. I've no more fucks to give, my fucks have all dissolved. I've planned many projects, but my fucks won't be involved. I've no more fucks to give, my fucks have all been spent. They're fucked up from the building and I don't know where they went. I've no more fucks to give, I've no more fucks to give. I've no more fucks, I've no more fucks, I've no more fucks to give. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much indeed. Now, if you are interested in seeing more of this kind of content and joining me for live streams where I can actually talk to you properly, because these comments disappear up the side here faster than I can actually get to them, then come and join my Patreon community, where I do this kind of thing on a regular basis. I go live from backstage and all that kind of thing as well. If you haven't subscribed already, then please do come and subscribe to my channels. Come and like my pages, like this post, comment on this post so that I know what kind of things you're interested in. In the meantime, and also I should really mention my album that came out last year, well, December of last year. It's only come out in the last month or so. So if you're interested in seeing a whole 13 new songs that you've probably maybe not heard before, then yeah, get on and have a listen to my album, Making Friends at 40. It's available from my website, as is my ukulele songbook, which is available through my website as well. Links in the description below on YouTube. On Facebook, I'm going to add those into the comments because the algorithms stop things from going if you put too many links into a post. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Sorry I've not been able to answer all of your comments and speak to you all so much. This was really just a spontaneous little thing that I was trying out as part of my Get to Know Me February. So Makala ukulele, First Ukulele. It was a good one. If you're interested in buying a cheap ukulele, I would recommend that. For those of you who want something a little bit more snazzy and a bit more expensive, but much nicer, I've got this flight one here. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to let you go. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you all very soon. Take care and toodle pip.